Finally, I'm back. I first came here to surf in 2015. I fell in love with the island as soon as my feet touched the water. Lanzarote has countless world-class surf breaks, ranging from relatively friendly point breaks you can draw endless lines on, and fun reef breaks for intermediates, to the heavier spots on the northern west coast. In the sleepy town La Santa, you can watch the pros participate in the El Camao class contest, surfing the eponymous wave, which is often referred to as Europe's answer to the famous Banzai pipeline at the north shore of Oahu, Hawaii. Some days, if the conditions are perfect, it seems like there are waves for all levels popping up all around the island. Lanzarote is a windy island, with winds blowing steadily from the northeast all year around. Without those winds, the island would turn into a desert. However, when there is high pressure over the Sahara, the Kalima hits, driving southerly winds towards Lanzarote, bringing Saharan temperatures, sand, and even insects with it. I always call Lanzarote the honest island. One day it will be light and flattering. Another day it will be dark and menacing. It will always challenge my ability to stay, to sit with myself and hear my inner voices. Nowadays, you'll find the most popular surf spots on surf apps and surf guides online. I am not gonna give away the island's secret spots. Instead, you should do what every passionate surfer would have done back in the day. Get a car and explore the place by yourself. For example, head north alongside the east coast. If the conditions are right, you will find some beautiful waves there. man. From Orzola, head south alongside the west coast. You will come across the Corona volcano, and on your right, you will have amazing views of the neighboring island La Graciosa. Then head on towards Haria, a beautiful little town in the heart of the Valley of 1,000 Palm Trees. Grab a coffee and move on towards Famara. This picturesque 6-kilometer long white stretch of sand is situated right underneath the Risco, the tallest mountain of Lanzarote. Here you are right in the heart of Lanzarote's surf tourism. Hey, I'm chilling out here at one of my favorite spots on the island, La Santa. Whether or not you surf, it's always quite a sight watching these madmen paddling into giant surf. Oh, there's a guy swimming without a board. What? And incredible. Seems to be totally fine. The animal realm of Lanzarote is not very diverse. At least, it isn't very obvious. You will definitely come across a lot of birds, especially seagulls, and an occasional heron. If you're lucky, you will run into a rock crab. And you will most likely come across a lot of geckos and lizards, such as this East Canarian lizard here. Other than that, there's loads of fish, you have insects, occasional rabbits, some goats, you'll see farm animals like donkeys, and loads of cats. Christmas came. We decorated the Christmas tree, had a little Christmas dinner, partied at a friend's place, and then drove to Teguise to watch the traditional midnight mass, the Misa del Gallo. With the new year came the rain, and turned the surrounding of our place into a beautiful oasis. The desert came alive again, and was soon transformed into a lush grass steppe. After that, Mother Nature started smiling. Flowers began to sprout all over the island, and I felt the love in every branch, in every rock, in every cloud, just begging me to awaken from the separation of duality.
Got the bodegas of Lageria where you can do wine tastings and buy awesome wine, which the people grow in these beautiful little circles that are everywhere as far as the eye can see around us. It's like as if the eruptions from 275 years ago left an emotional imprint on this place. I feel it, man.
Lanzarote is believed to be about 15 million years old. The landscape owes its face entirely to volcanic activity. In relatively recent history, there have been 2 eruption events in Lanzarote. The first one took place in 730 and lasted 6 years. The eruption in 1824 lasted only about 3 months. Miraculously, no human beings were killed in both events, but many villages were destroyed. There aren't many places I've been to where I feel so content, grounded, and healthy. And I've been to many places both physically and mentally. Only very slowly do I adapt to the silence, the raw presence of nature, the open space, the stretched time, and myself. When all the noise subsides and you're surrounded by horizons, life is getting really interesting, and it is sometimes challenging to not submit to the urge to distract yourself from the emotions and thoughts that arise. Finding peace in the places that scare you takes courage, but is inevitable. Nature is always present here. The weather is so dynamic, and the ocean is as well the beauty as the beast. It's here where I get inspired to stay in the moment, because here I often can't distract myself from the restlessness, the whizzing inside. This place is too powerful to escape its intensity. It just points me inward. Sometimes it feels like a necessary depression, but really it's just withdrawal symptoms. Reality is a perfect design, including the realization of infinite possibilities. Every single ripple in the ocean is unique and interdependent. That goes for everything. Maybe that should indicate that all judgment and bias is just our own little story. The raw, bizarre landscape and the ocean, and the darkness that sits over the northern part of the island, has inspired me to reconsider many things in my life. After a while, it takes away the noise if you stay and allow the silence to settle in. The island has an intensity to it that'll make many people uncomfortable in their own skin. Its beauty lies in its honesty. No sugarcoating here. When it's sunny, it's light and fun. When it's dark, it can get bleak and heavy. At the end of the day, all perception is projection. I project everything on this place that I have chosen as my identity. Maybe the island is how I perceive myself to be. Somehow lonely and raw, sunny but sometimes dark, full of love and violence. The masculine energy when the waves break over the reef, the feminine energy, the calm before the storm, the rainbows over the desert. It doesn't matter whether someone else perceives it differently. The only thing that matters is immediate experience. Nobody has ever experienced anything else. When I arrive here, I always need a month to slow down, to become soft and vulnerable, to be able to open up. It shocks me when I then realize how hardened I was. By far the strongest emotions that arise are gratitude and remorse. then I'm so sorry that I so seldom realize that the canvas of reality is love. I always thought there was no objective good or bad. From a moral point of view, I'm convinced that there is no such thing. However, I know that the programming language of the universe is love. There is a phrase in the Bible that back in the day I've always used to deride Christianity. And God saw that it was good. I believe that our reality is a dream made up of fragmented consciousness, stories, and made-up identities, until we awaken to the singularity of infinite awareness beyond identity. But I have already experienced several times that everything is indeed good. It's not about the view from the mountain. All enthusiasm for beauty fades at some point. As long as we're judging, each category has a subjective peak that cannot be topped. And then there is a rock bottom. External satisfaction chases itself through an entirely relative reality. You can find true happiness by looking into a hole in the ground. Because true love lies beyond identity, valuation, and duality. There is no path around the rabbit hole, but we won't find anything there, because there is nothing to be found. It's not about finding something anyway. We just have to realize that we are God, becoming aware of infinite singular consciousness. But instead, we keep dividing. We keep fragmenting love into stories and identities, creating the suffering of the world. But we are already there. We just have to wake up from the dream into infinite, loving oneness.
Good morning, guys. It's been really windy lately. All the surf spots around the island are blown out. There's no surfable wave right now except one, and I call this wave the Fred Olsen tsunami. Fred Olsen is the name of a ferry company that operates ferry rides between the Canary Islands. There is a big ferry leaving the port of Coralejo, Fuerteventura, heading for Playa Blanca and Lanzarote. This boat causes a pretty big, really nice right-breaking wave to hit the surrounding bays. I'm gonna paddle out, check out the ocean floor for submerged rocks or any other kind of hazards, and if everything seems safe, I'm gonna definitely attempt to ride that wave. I'm so excited to surf the Fred Olsen tsunami! Here, Playa Blanca, checking out the spot right now. On this here southeastern tip of the island, the weather is usually a lot better than on the rest of the island, basically. The pandemic has pretty much cost the island its mainstream tourism. There's nobody on this side of the island. The only tourism left is individual tourism, backpackers, and digital nomads that hang out in Famara on the west coast. And this is where the wave breaks. When the ferry comes in from the island of Fuerteventura over there, heading for this harbor. So the moment of truth is approaching. This is the test run. See what's gonna happen.